Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So this time, we will now move to the third lesson. This is not lesson 2, ha? This is lesson 3 for the module 4, which is about data management. And lesson 3 is about the measures of central tendency. Now, our learning outcomes for this lesson is about for us to identify measures of central tendency. Number 2 is for us to solve for the measures of central tendency of the given data. And the last one is for us to relate measures of central tendency in real life problems. So we have here the pre-assessment for this module, and we also have our lesson map. So when we talk about the central tendency, we will be dealing with these three types of central tendency. So we will be dealing with the mean, the median, and the mode. So later we will discuss each one of them. And of course, again, I'll be giving you this assignment. So for the engaged part, you will have to um, this is about the concepts of measures of central tendency. So we have here activity number 1, so measure my foot. So the instruction there is for you to engage yourself along with your family members. Take time to measure their foot in terms of centimeters. Okay, so you will have to measure their foot in terms of centimeters. You will be using tape measure or ruler, and you will supply the table below and answer the follow-up questions. So we have there for the table, the name of family members and then the measurement of their foot. So again, like for example, your mother's name is Kinisha, and then you will put at the right side, no, at the right side, imibutang dito ang ilang measurement sa foot. And then you will just have to answer these 6 questions. So we have 6 follow-up questions after doing this activity. So now let's go to our proper discussion about the concept of measures of central tendency. So, a measure of central tendency is a summary statistic that represents the center point or typical value of a data set. These measures indicate where most values in a distribution fall and are also referred to as the central location of a distribution. So again, when we talk about the measures of central tendency, it will help us to find for the center of the data that you have gathered. Again, when we talk about measures of central tendency, we are talking about the center or the center of the data, the average of the data na imong nagather. You can think of it as the tendency of data to cluster around a middle value. So the middle value. In statistics, the 3 most common measures of central tendency is we have this mean, median, and mode. Each of these measures calculates the location of the central point. So sa measures of central tendency, natay tulo ka pwede nato gamiton in computing for the central point or ang tunga sa imo data. Unsa man ang tunga sa kanay? For example, you will gather this data and then pangitaon nimo kung unsa ang ijang center or central point. Using different method. You could use the mean, you could use the median, or mode pa. Even though the measures above are the most commonly used to define central tendency, there are some other measures including but not limited to geometric mean, harmonic mean, mid-range, and geometric median. The selection of a central tendency measure depends on the properties of a data set. For instance, the mode is the only central tendency measure for categorical data. Sa pagaling tong categorical data, quality or quantitative? Qualitative or quantitative ang categorical data? Category? That's qualitative. Categorical data. So mo na ang for mode. If you are having a data which is a categorical data, so pwede na to gamiton ang mode. But while a median works best with ordinal data. Sa tong ordinal data, katong naka-order ang ija data. There is this order sa ija data. Although the mean is regarded as the best measure of central tendency for quantitative data. If we have quantitative data, pwede na to gamiton ang mean. That is not always the case. For example, the mean may not work well with quantitative data sets that contain extremely large or extremely small values. Extreme values may distort the mean. Thus, you may consider other measures. So, let's go first to number 1, which is about the mean or the average. Kung mag-isgutan ng mean, this is also the average, no? So, sayon nga ni siya, how do we compute for the mean of the data? No, represents the sum of all values in a data set divided by the total number of the values. It is the commonly used measure of central tendency. So, notations for mean, no? Dari, ingani ang ija symbol na gamiton for the mean of population. And this one, kining X, tapos na underscore sa, above score para, no? Underline, or above line pala, sorry, that's above line. That is the symbol that we will use for the mean of a sample. Ano'y kalahian ng population sa ng sample, ma'am? Kumita na population, that's the whole. The total. While the sample is the part of the population. Subset ra siya sa population. Like for example, kumita na population of the students of NEMCO. So tanan coming from college to high school, senior high or junior high. Mao nang population kinahanglan tanan. Pag may ka na sample of the students of NEMCO, pwede ka moingon na the senior high students of NEMCO. Pwede rin nga na. That's part of the NEMCO. Subset ra siya sa population. No, na ang kasabot sa sample. So the mean for population and sample, no, if the values of a data set, x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, to x sub n is the population of n numbers, then the mean of the population is, we have here mu, or mu man siya, but we can just say mean of the population is equal to x sub 1 to x plus x sub 2 plus x sub 3 plus 2x sub n over n. If the values of a data set x sub 1 to x sub n is a sample of n numbers, then the mean of the sample is still kini. The only difference is that we have the big letter N and the small letter n. If we have the big letter N, that is for the population. But if you have the small letter n, that is for the sample. Kaduha, we have here the median. So, ang median, this is the middle value in a data set that is arranged in ascending order. Again, mao tong naingon ta that median is good for those no ordinal na mga datas. Because in a median form, no pangitaon na to ang tunga sa data set, pero first you have to arrange it in ascending order. Gikan sa gamay padung sa dako, from the smallest value to the largest value. Dili ka pwede magkuha ng median nang wala siya na arrange. If a data set contains an even number of values, the median of the data set is the mean of the two middle values. So we have here again, this one is the symbol for the median of a population. This X with the above line is the median of, or the symbol for the median of a sample. So the median for population and sample, if the values of a data set x sub 1 to x sub n is the population n numbers, then the median of the population is here. Know that the median of the population is equal to x sub n over 2 plus x sub n over 2 plus 1 if n is even, over 2. No? But if n is odd, we will just have to use x sub n plus 1 over 2. Later natin mga example, ana. So again, the only difference is that kung magamit na ng, if the median of the population, we use big letter N. But if we are talking for the median of the sample, we will use small letter n. Number 3 is mode. Defines the most frequently occurring value in a data set. What do you mean by most frequently? Ang gabalik-balik. Pila man unsa ka daghan no, kinsa man ang mas daghan nagabalik-balik. So in some cases, a data set may contain multiple modes while some data sets may not have any mode at all. When all the data values have equal frequency, the mode does not exist. The data sets which have two most frequently values are said to be bimodal. If the data sets have three or more most frequent values, then it's called multimodal. Again, tawag sa mga kuan, when all the data values have equal frequency. Like for example, natay mga data values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mao na nga itong mga data na nagather nato. And if they just have equal frequency, no, but pasabot ana is the mode does not exist. Okay, isa raman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, walay gabalik-balik. That means the mode does not exist. But when the data sets which have two most frequent values are said to be, tawag sa is bimodal. If the data sets have three or more most frequent values, then it is called multimodal. The mode can be used to any level of measurement. So, again, we have here, this is the symbol for the mode of population. And kining X with above line is the symbol for the mode of sample. So the measures of central tendency can be found using a formula or definition. Also, they can be identified using a frequency distribution graph. Note that for data sets that follow a normal distribution, the mean, median, and mode are located on the same spot on the graph. So let's have an example for the measures of central tendency. So we have there the sample problem. I'm sorry that is not 6, but that's 7. Okay, dili na siya 6, but it is 7. So, kumenta na 7, no? Natay sample problem diha, and we will solve that. So, okay, una. 7 students are randomly selected in Math 100 class with 50 students receive test grades of 92, 84, 75, 76, 88, 96, and 84. So, unsa ni siya ang mga grades no sa 7 ka students out of 50 students. Okay, these are the data na ato gikuha sa Math 100 na klase na among sa 50 ka students, nagkuha rata ng mga randomly selected, no, 7 ka estudyante. We just select it randomly. So we have this grade, mga grade ining 92, 84, 75, 76, 88, 96, and 84. Una, pangitaw na to ang mean. Kaduha, pangitaw na to ang median, o ikatulo, pangitaw na to ang mode. The question is, unsa man ni, population or sample? Cases. Sample ra, because this is just a part of the whole. Okay, 7 ra ka students out of 50. That's why this is just a sample. So, in here, no, for us to find for the mean, it's just so easy. You will just have to add them. No, 92 plus 84 plus 75 plus 76 plus 88 plus 96 plus 84. And then, i-divide nimo kung pila sila kabuok, and we get 595 over 7, and that is equal to 85. That's very simple. That is now the mean of that problem. Nga na ka-simple ang mean ha. Therefore, the mean test grade is 85. Kaduha, we solve for the median. Now, first, of course, ingon ta kagaina that we have to arrange the data values in ascending order. So, that is, we have, mag-una si 75, kay from lowest to highest man, 75, 76, 84, 84, and then 92 and 96. Note that, pila man ni siya kabuok, na ay 7, right? And 7 is odd. So, kung add, ang atong gamito na formula is x times, sorry, but this is small letter n, dapat kay, sorry, this is small letter n ha. Basin makuan mo, this is a sample ra. Ay, di wala pwede ma-edit. That's small letter n. So, Cn is kung pila kabuok ang data nga naaka. So, that's why you have 7. So, 7 plus 1 over 2. Right? So, 7 plus 1, that is 8 over 2. And 8 over 2 is 4. So, x sub 4. Dari ra si x sub 1 nato is 75. X sub 2 is 76. X sub 3 is 84. X sub 4 is 84. So, your answer is equal to 84. This one here is 84. Therefore, the median is 84. Nagets ra? Yes, ma'am. Okay. For number 3, we'll just have to find the mode. Okay. Note that the most frequent value in our data set is 84 because it shows twice. Thus, our model is 84. This is called to be bimodal. So, paano naging 84? Because sa ato pagkita diha, no, direta sa katong may arrange from lowest to greatest. Sa letter B, dire. So, as we can see, no, kaduha ning balik si 4, 84. So, put pasabot, si Jang ato mode. Okay, pero, kung naara tay 75, 76, 84, 88, 92, 96, kinsa man ang ato mode? Ha? Kung kaisa ra ning balik sa 84. Again, ang mode nato diri, di ba? Ingon ko, ang mode nato diri is 84 because kaduha na balik si 84. While the rest of them is kaisara. But how about ang ato data is kinira 75, 76, 84. Tulura kita ato data. What is their mode? Okay, the mode does not exist. So, this time, after our class, I'll be giving you a quiz. No? After na siguro sa klase, mga 3 to 4. So, ihatag na ako sa inyo ang quiz, kini siya. 3 to 4. And then, napatay quiz sa measures of kuan. So, morning ay inyo ansiran later. So, you just have to find for the mean, median, and mode. But before that, let's proceed to the lesson 4. Lesson 4 na iniha. This is about the measures of dispersion. Again, the measures of dispersion. And kung naitulo sa measures of central tendency, in here we also have the measures of dispersion. So we have the range, the standard deviation, and the variance. Again, we have the range, the standard deviation, and the variance. So again, no, so I'll be putting again another assignment for this topic. So in here, you will just have to read this one. No? So instruction there is engage yourself along with your 10 classmates online. Take time to ask for the possible or approximated measurement or distance of their home towards your home in terms of kilometers. And then you will have to supply the table below and answer the follow-up questions. That is for your assignment. Now, this time, we will be talking about the concepts of measures of dispersion. So, dispersion in statistics is a way of describing how spread out a set of data is. So, kung sa measures of central tendency, we are looking for the center of the data set. In the dispersion is kung unsa ka-spread or unsa kalagyoon ang mga set of data. When a data set has a large value, the values in the set are widely scattered. When it is small, the items in the set are tightly clustered. There are 3 measures of dispersion that we consider in this lesson. Number 1 is the range. The range of a set of values is the difference between the greatest data value and the least data value. So, kung natay data, example na to kagaina sa katong 75, 76, 84, 88, and 89. So, ito pinaka-highest kagaina? 96. So, kung maghisgutan ng range, simple ra. Kung ano na to, kinsa man ang highest value na naata sa kana na data, minusan na to sa lowest value. So, kagaina, 96 man na to highest, minus the lowest is 75, and that is now the range. Simple as that. No, and of course, you have to be reminded that range is a sensitive measure since it depends only on the 2 most extreme values. So sometimes range is denoted with capital R. So we will denote range as the capital R. So if we can see, no, R, capital letter R. So, pwede na nato umingon na that is the range. Number 2 is the standard deviation. Now, of a set of data makes use of the individual amount that each data value deviates from the mean. The closer the standard deviation is to 0, again, kung mas closer ang standard deviation sa 0, the lower the data variability and the more reliable the mean is. But if the standard deviation is equal to 0, this indicates every value in the data set is equal to the mean. And if the higher the standard deviation, the more variation there is in the data and the less accurate the mean is. The notations for the standard deviation are this one. This is the symbol for the standard deviation of population, and S is the symbol for the standard deviation of a sample. So we have here the procedure on how we compute, no, for the standard deviation. So una is you have to determine the mean muna. So saan pa to nato pagkuha sa mean, i-add nato siya tanan and then i-divide kung pila sila kabuok. So when you get the mean sa number 2, for each number, calculate the deviation difference between the number and the mean of the numbers. So, kada number, ang katong mga data nga naa ka, so kagaina natay 7 ka data. So, katong mga data, i-minusan to nato sila kada usa sa mean. Okay, minusan to nato sila kada usa sa mean. And then, okay, number 3, calculate the square of each of the deviations and find the sum of the squared divisions. So, ato i-calculate, kuhaon nato ang square ng kada number. I-square nato siya. Katong gikan gali gi-minus nato, say like for example 75. Unsa tong mean adto nila? Minus, I think I forgot the mean earlier. What's the mean earlier? 85. No, so ato siya i-minus and then ato after makuha nato i-answer is square nato siya. And then pag naka-square na tanang data, we will add them. No? And then sa number 4 is if the data is the population, then divide the sum by n. If the data is the sample, divide the sum by n minus 1. So kung population siya, i-divide na nato sa 7. Kay 7 man to, kabuok. But if this is just a sample, we divide the sum to n minus 1. So, 6 rakan. 7 minus 1 is 6. And then, after that, we have to find for the square root of the quotient in step 4. Note that the sum of the deviation is always 0. You can use this fact to check your arithmetic. So, later we will have an example about that para mas masabtan pa natin, no? But let's have this number 3, which is about the variance. So the variance for the given set of data is the square of the standard deviation of the data. So the notations for the variance are, we have here, no? Nice squared. So standard deviation walay squared, but sa variance is nice squared. This is the variance of a population. S squared is the variance of a sample. So sayo na ni siya kay kung makakuha na ta sa standard deviation, ato ra siya i-squared. Okay? So, after that, we'll have an example para mas maklaro, mas masabtan. So, like for example, we have here, the following numbers were obtained by sampling a population. So, natay 1, 2, 5, 7, and 8. We have, ano yato mga data na nag-gather, no? The following numbers were obtained by sampling a population. Next, number 1 is, we have to solve for the range. So, solution sa Junra, tanaw na to ang highest value which is 8. No, R is the range equals highest value minus lowest value. So 8 minus ang lowest value nato is 1. So that is equal to 7. Therefore, the range is 7. Simple for the range. Number 2, solve the standard deviation. No, una, di ba sa to step 1 is kuha na to ang mean. So, i-add na to siya tanan. Usa ni pasabot ini, ma'am? That's the summation. Usay po sabot ng summation, ma'am. Kibali, i-add di mo tanan na mga values of x. No, that's what we call summation of x. So, 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8, that's 23. over 5. Anong 5 man na si n because natay 5 ra ka data. So, that's 23 over 5. So, we got 4.6 as our mean. Si 4.6 ato mean. Unsa tong ikaduha na step? Ang kada data ato minusan sa mean. So, nata diri. Mani ang ato mga data, no? 1, 2, 5, and 7, and 8. So, 23 is the summation of x, no? Pasabot, giunsa na pa ko si 23, gi-add nato siya tanan. That's equal to 23. But that's not what step 2 is all about. Ang step 2 is kada data minusan nimo siya ng mean. Ang ato mean is 4.6. So, we have 1 minus 4.6. The answer is negative 3.6. 2 minus 4.6, that's negative 2.6. 5 minus 4.6, that's equal to 0.5. 7 minus 4.6, that's equal to 2.4. 8 minus 4.6 is equal to 3.5. So, kung gusto nimo siya i-check, that will be equal to 0. No, kung imo na siya i-add tanan mo, equal na siya gyud sa 0. Kung dili siya mo equal sa 0, balik ka kay basi na wrong ka. Step 3. No, sa ibuhaton sa step 3, calculate the square of each of the deviations in step 2 and find the sum of these square deviations. First, katong ato answer na nakuha, coming from here, ato siya i-squared. Okay? So, ato answer is negative 3.6 squared. Unsay pasabot sa square? You will multiply negative 3.6 sa ija kaugalingon ka duha. So, negative 3.6 times negative 3.6, that's 12.96. Negative 2.6 squared, that's 6.76. And negative 0.4 squared is 0.16. 2.4 squared is 5.76. And 3.4 squared is 11.56. And then we will have to add them, and that's equal to 37.19. Okay, that's 37.19. This is the summation of x minus x squared. Again, this is the summation of x minus x squared. Next, because we have a sample of n equals 5 values, divide the sum of the squared deviations by n minus 1. Kung n minus 1, pasabot sample ra siya. So, ato na ibutang diri, no, that the summation, this is actually the formula. Pwede ra mo modisyo. Mo ang formula nato in finding for the standard deviation. No, we have summation of x minus x squared over n minus 1. So, since kay nakakuha naman ta kagaina diri, 37.19, so pwede rin nato siya ibutang diri. Over, there are only 5 datas that we have. So, 5 minus 1, that's 4. And if we divide them, that's equal to 9.2975. Okay, so for the standard deviation sa pinaka-last is ato siya i-square root. So, the standard deviation of the sample is square root nato si 9.2975, that is equal to 3.05. Again, I'm sorry, the formula pala for the standard deviation is this one. No, s is equal to the square root of this summation of x minus x squared over n minus 1. Mao ni ang formula for the standard deviation para dili ta maglibog. That's the square root of the summation of x minus the mean nga x squared over n minus 1. Una, gipangita na to. Una, step 1 again is gipangita na to ang mean. No, gi-add na to siya tanan, gi-divide kung pila siya kabuok para makita ta sa mean. Step 2 is ang kada data gi-minusan nato ng mean. Step 3 is gi-square nato, no? Gi-square nato ang mga datas nga gi-minusan nato sa mean. Step 4 is ato siya gi-add tanan. Sakto ba? No, gi-add na to siya tanan, that's 37.19. And then, gi-divide na to siya by 4 or n minus 1. And then, we get 9.2975. And then, ato siya i-square. And that's 3.05. Square root of 9.2975 is equal to 3.05. That is now our standard deviation. Now, if for number 3, if we will compute for the variance, no? That is just S squared. No, pasabot. No, we have here square root of 9.65. That is equal to 9.65. Again, kining sa standard deviation, 3.05 man ang imo standard deviation, right? I-square na nimo si Ja, and that is now your answer for the variance. Dili ka makakuha ng variance kung wala ka ning agi ng standard deviation. Pwede ra sa diri na mo diretso, oh. Okay, so that is square nimo si 3.05. Pila man? 3.05 times 3.05. So that is 9.65. Or, yeah, I guess that's it. I'm sorry, this is not 9.65. Sakto ba? This is 9.2975 pala. Wrong na sad ini. This is 9.2975. So, nimo makuha ng variance, dili ra kaw. Dili na nimo siya i-square. Or pwede sa 3.05 squared. Pwede sa diri ra kaw. This is the variance, actually, 9.2975. Okay? So, again, this is your second quiz. So, again, I'll be giving duha ka questions, no? And the first questions is for the measures of central tendency. Ito akong ipakita kagay na. And the second question will be about the measures of dispersion. So, this one here. Okay, so do you have any questions regarding sa to discussion ko man? Sabtan ra? Okay, so I think that's it.